Hello guys, today we are going to discuss a very important previous year question from the chapter Sociology as Science, or the topic Sociology as Science. Very important topic, and this is one of those questions through which UPSC is testing whether you actually understand the core debate of sociology. And we know the core debate of sociology, whether sociology is science or not. So they can ask you in different ways the same question, whether sociology is a science or not, is sociology similar to natural science, etc. We have seen that when we discussed things in the class, the possibilities of asking different question. Because if you see thinkers like Auguste Comte, they wanted sociology to become a positive science. If you remember, Saint Simon even thought of social physics on the line similar to natural science physics. And Durkheim also argued that it's about study of social facts, and sociology should be studying social facts, and things should be treated as things objectively, right? So his concern and his stress on treating the social phenomena under study as things itself shows that his concern for objectivity and to establish sociology similar to natural science. So we have seen that from the initial positivists, but again, later thinkers like Max Weber, he challenged this excessive scientific approach, and he told that human beings are not atoms or chemicals. For example, you boil water at 100 degrees Celsius, what can happen. You boil or you freeze water at 0 degrees Celsius, what can happen. It can be predicted because you are dealing with matter. But human beings are different. Human beings have emotions, they have meanings, intentions, motives, interpretation. So that is why this question, right? This topic also. So the question is basically asking, can sociology become exactly like natural science, like physics, chemistry, like that? Or should sociology follow a different path? Right now, we have seen how we concluded it as a science, but not similar to natural science. It's a social science. Now, mostly, many students make one mistake here. They take an extreme position. That's why I told you, I'm not rejecting that it's a science. Yes, it's a science, but it's not similar to natural science. It's a social science. There are elements of science which you see sociology also fulfill, but at the same time, there are certain elements like objectivity, right? These are things which may not be completely practically possible when it comes to sociology. So you should never take an extreme position, and that's what I'll be showing the question which has been asked in 2025, and then we will discuss. So don't take extreme position. Either, you can say sociology is social science. Never say like, yes, sociology is fully scientific. Or never say, no, sociology can never be scientific. This should not be your answer, right? You can, it, of course, we are studying social science and we need to be flexible also. So what UPSC expect from you is a balanced answer. And not only in this question, when it comes to sociology, in most of the cases, whether sociology is similar to common sense, right? There also you should be taking a balanced stand. You cannot say it's not common sense. You cannot say it's completely different also. So the balance is what the heart of this question. So let's discuss this directly. I'll show you the question which has been asked in the last year, and then you will understand. So you see, guys, there's a topic, sociology as a science. What is science? So you need to, of course, define what is science, the elements of science, and that we have anyway covered in the class. Do you think that the methods used in natural science can be applied to sociology? We take up some examples and we'll see. Give reasons for your answer, right? So this is the question that we are going to analyze, and this is directly from the topic. So first, what you'll do, you'll define science properly. So there is no point in me giving a definition here. There are many definitions from the mentors that you have learned. You might have learned different definitions. You might have taken Karl Popper definition, or you might be writing science. What is science? Science is an organized and evidence-based knowledge, right? It explains the world through testable ideas and methods that others can verify. So you'll talk about reliability, you'll talk about validity, and there are important keywords also like theoretical orientation, right? Inductive approach, evidence-based model, also experimentation, right? Testability, verification, organized knowledge. So these are keywords that you can bring in your definition. So my point is not to give you a definition here, because you might have learned different definition and that's already there in your mind. So my point is to tell you, you need to write the definition first, because that has been there in the question. There are multiple ways in which you can define science. So whatever you have learned from your mentor, you can write that. Okay. Now, any definition, and then write the elements of science. Okay. And then connect it with sociology. So you can say sociology studies human social life. which is full of meanings and intentions. And therefore, some methods of natural science can be used in sociology, but they must be adapted to the special nature of social reality. For example, initial sociologists, they use methods directly from natural science. Even Durkheim also, his approaches like statistical techniques, these are directly from social natural science. But later he himself have developed methods for specifically sociology. Weber gave specific methods to sociology. Now, with this itself, the examiner will understand you are not rejecting the possibility of sociology being science, but you are also not blindly copying natural science method. That maturity is what I want you to have, and that maturity is what the examiner is also looking for, and that's what most important here. Now, understand where natural science method helps sociology. That is the most important part. We'll enter into the first part of the body, right? So introduction, that part is done. You can also talk about the debate, origin of the debate if it is required in the beginning. So in the body part, the first part, we will explain where sociology actually borrowed from science. For example, one we take identifying patterns. This is where you bring Comte and Durkheim. So early positivists like Comte, Durkheim, they believed society can be studied systematically. You can talk about the study of suicide. Durkheim's famous work, Suicide, is the best or classical example of using statistical techniques or quantitative analysis in sociology. So what Durkheim do? He used official statistics. He compared across the groups. He made correlations. He relied on empirical data, right? So empiricism is very important element. Objectivity is very important element because he is relying on empirical data. He's trying to establish objectivity. He's trying to treat this as a thing, right? And through that, what he did is he identified patterns between suicide and social integration. And that you just need to mention that. You don't want to write the theory. You don't want to talk about regulation, integration, altruistic suicide, anonymous suicide, and all those is not required. You just need to tell that in this study, this is a correlation he made. And that's extremely important because Durkheim proved that even something which is extremely personal, right? It could be many, even now also we think it is psychological reason, but it have social causes, and he proved and he established with the data. So that is where sociology is behaving scientifically. One very good example which you can give, and a very important line that you can write is statistics and correlations can reveal social patterns. And after writing that, you underline that. Perfect. Now, next is measurement and inferences. See, that is, we are moving to the modern sociology. So modern sociology, what we use surveys, we use sampling, we use indices, we use questionnaires, and sometimes experiments or natural experiments we use, right? For example, it could be census studies, NSSO surveys, NFHS data, policy change studies, and these basically help the sociologist to identify the causal tendencies or the causal tendencies. So help you to get that exact cause. And ultimately, what you're looking for as a positivist, you're looking for establishing cause and effect relationship, right? So here you need to mark the word, which is very important, causal tendencies, right? It's not absolute law like physics. That distinction is definitely important. Then comes to the scientific norms, discuss a scientific standard. Sociology also follow certain scientific patterns or the standards, like there are clear methods. We are trying to ensure transparency, replicability, reliability, validity, falsification, peer review, right? These are scientific norms. So sociology is not random opinion making. It follows a systemic procedure, a systematic procedure. And this part, when you're writing, that is again strengthening the scientific nature of sociology. Then you can talk about objectivity, though absolute objectivity is neither possible, but we try to ensure maximum possible objectivity by remaining value neutral, etc., or by using different methods, etc. So, and the methods used, inductive method you're using. So these are examples which you can write. Testability also you can write. And see, but when it comes to the other side, you need to also talk about why full application of natural science have limitation. Even in objectivity, limitation is there. Even in testing, limitation is there because you're dealing with human beings. It's not like matter, right? Where you can do anything, you can predict anything. Now, this is the most important part of your answer, right? UPSC mainly give the marks here because that shows your understanding, analysis, and depth in the answer, because this is where sociology differentiate itself from natural science. Perfect. So here we need to bring in Weber. Meanings matter. Emotions is important. Weber. So bring Max Weber. And what Weber argued for Verstehen, you can talk about Verstehen, right? You can talk about causal pluralism, causal probabilism, right? So Verstehen means interpretive understanding. So human beings mainly act based on meanings, and the same action can have different meaning in different context. For example, fasting can have different meaning depending upon the context. Wearing a black cloth, sometimes wearing a black cloth have different meanings also, right? And silence have different meanings. Protest have different meanings. So their meanings can change across societies and culture. So sociology cannot study humans exactly like object, and there is no one dimension or one size fit all answer is possible. And that's a major limitation of natural science method. That is one thing which you can write. And Weber, you can quote also, sociology studies human being who have consciousness, whereas natural science study matter which do not have consciousness, and the behavior of which can be predicted easily. But here the behavior cannot be predicted with extreme absolute objectivity, right? 100% is not possible. So that's a major limitation of natural science method in sociology. And society is an open system. Like if you see, natural science often work in laboratories with controlled condition, so testability is possible. But society is not a lab, it's not a laboratory. Social life have multiple causes, and there are different changing variables, right? Even in the study of suicide also, we are talking about changing variables, changing society, changing social variables, changing social currents, changing rates of suicide. So society have multiple causes, causal pluralism, causal probabilism, spirit and substance, changing variables, historical influences, cultural differences. Therefore, when it comes to sociology, explanation in sociology are, probabilistic. That is why causal probabilism. The explanations are contextual. It can vary depending upon the context, and it cannot be universally fixed like natural science, where it is universal. So their universal laws are possible. Here, the universal laws possibility is limited, and Auguste Comte and all claimed to have made universal laws, which has been proved wrong also. So this is a very important sociological phrase, context dependent explanation. Underline this. So sociology, it is probabilistic explanation, it is context dependent explanation, and it is not universally fixed. Write it, underline it. Perfect. And then next is not that important, but you should be writing another important dimension, sociological issue, reflexivity and ethics. This I used to ask this question of ethics within sociology to the sociology optional students. If not in mains paper, they can ask you in interview also, right? See, people change behavior when they know they are being studied. So I used to ask this question, ethics when it comes to participant observation, ethics when it comes to non-participant observation, and that's what you call as reflexivity. You can mention the Hawthorne effect. Unlike, you see chemicals in lab, humans react to observation, right? Also, sociology face ethical limitation, like when you do the participant observation, non-participant observation, no, whatever. You have there is a consent issue, there is definitely a privacy issue, and emotional harm is there, confidentiality issue is there. Because of ethics, many experimental methods becomes difficult also, right? Then you can talk about historical concepts and double hermeneutic. You can bring Anthony Giddens here. Very important enrichment point, this one. If you can add that, for example, concepts like class, caste, identity, gender, these are not fixed forever. They evolved historically. And Giddens called this as double hermeneutic. Okay. What does that mean? Sociologists interpret people while people themselves are already interpreting society, right? And sociological theories themselves can influence behavior. And that makes sociology very different from natural sciences. It's a very important and excellent conceptual point that you can add, so that it will be a value addition point. You can fetch that. See, we always talk about one question, that 1 mark extra if you can get in one area. This is that point. Everything else, everyone will write. But double hermeneutic, right? If you write it, that is going to be an excellent value addition. That extra 1 mark, for 10 question, 15 question, 20 question in GS also, adding that 50, 60 mark improvement you'll be getting. Okay, that is how last year, Himanshu, he made 60 mark extra in sociology. We just worked upon this. He have an excellent knowledge, but he got only 215. I got surprised after seeing his conceptual understanding and analysis, write-ups, everything. But this is only one change that we made in his next attempt. Same Ayush Pathak, he got 215th rank, he got IAS. EWS, he belonged to EWS, so he got IAS. He made an improvement of 60 mark. We only worked upon this part because his concepts is very clear, knowledge is very clear, just adding one extra point where he can fix that one extra mark in each of the question. So this definitely add more value to it. Now what we need is we need to bring a balanced approach. Now, again, as I told you, never end your answer negatively. Never tell that it is absolute science. Never tell that it is not science also. Always give a synthesis, right? You have a thesis, you have the antithesis and a synthesis. So that's the best approach. You can also talk about methodological pluralism and the postmodern approach you can write. So what does that mean? Sociology should combine multiple methods. You can mention quantitative methods. You can talk about qualitative methods. You can talk about historical comparative methods. And in quantitative methods, you can briefly mention about surveys, statistics, experiments. Qualitative methods, you can give examples like ethnography, interviews, participant observation, and then add any one advanced term like triangulation. That means using multiple methods to verify the conclusion, right? Triangulation in itself, they used to ask us question before the 10 marker. This will strengthen the causal adequacy and also that interpretive validity. And it's a very mature sociological language also. If you can write like this, if it is a 20 marker, you should be getting 16 mark. If you write like whatever I have told. Then conclude that balanced and sophisticated manner. You can say natural science methods strengthen sociology through measurement, testing, transparency, but because social life is meaningful based on emotions, human intentions, it is open and ethically constrained. Sociology cannot mechanically imitate natural science. Therefore, sociology must combine scientific rigor with interpretive understanding. Means you are bringing Durkheim and Weber together. You can also say, according to Weber, natural science study matter, which do not have consciousness. Sociology study human being, which have consciousness. So the behavior cannot be predicted exactly like natural science. And the final line is very important. Sociology require a rigorous yet human objectivity. Absolute objectivity is neither possible nor desirable in sociology. That's the excellent concluding phrase that you can use. Right? So, see, if you observe whatever I've discussed, we are not taking the answer that we have given, is not taking an extreme position. We have talked about what is the demand of the question. We talked about the side of science. We talked about the other side, thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. And we have taken a balanced answer because UPSC does not want ideological answers. What UPSC want balance from you. UPSC is looking for conceptual clarity from you. And have you integrated thinkers? We have added August Comte, we have added Durkheim, we have added Weber. That's enough for this particular question. If I want, I can add more also. We have also discussed about other thinkers as well in between. Right? And methodological maturity do you have? We have shown different methods and triangulation and all we have discussed. And if you structure the answer exactly in this flow, the way I have given, like science, its usefulness, its limitation, balanced approach, and a proper conclusion, this become a very solid 16, 17 marker. Out of 20, you should be getting 16, 17. This is how you will be different from others. And this is how my mentees are different from others. So I hope you got this. Thank you so much. I see you in the next video with another question.